4,000 essential English words. 1. Pollination. Unit 1. Word list. Afraid. When someone is afraid, they feel fear.
The woman was afraid of what she saw.
Agree. To agree is to say yes, or to think the same way.
The food is very good in that restaurant. I agree with you.
Angry. When someone is angry, they may want to speak loudly or fight.
She didn't do her homework, so her father is angry.
Arrive. To arrive is to get to or reach some place.
The bus always arrives at the corner of my street at 4.
Attack. To attack is to try to fight or to hurt.
The man with the sword attacked the other man first.
Bottom. The bottom is the lowest part.
The bottom of my shoe has a hole in it.
Clever. When someone is clever, they can solve a hard puzzle or problem.
The clever boy thought of a good idea.
Cruel. When someone is cruel, they do bad things to hurt others.
The cruel man yelled at his sister.
Finally. If something happens finally, it happens after a long time or at the end.
He finally crossed the finish line after 5 hours of running.
Hide. To hide is to try not to let others see you.
The other children will hide while you count to 100.
Hunt. To hunt is to look for or search for an animal to kill.
Long ago, people hunted with bows and arrows.
Lot. A lot means a large number or amount of people, animals, things, etc.
There are a lot of apples in the basket.
Middle. The middle of something is the center or halfway point.
The Canadian flag has a maple leaf in the middle of it.
Moment. A moment is a second or a very short time.
I was only a few moments late for the meeting.
Pleased. When someone is pleased, they are happy.
She was pleased with the phone call she received.
Promise. To promise is to say you will do something for sure.
He promised to return my key by tomorrow.
Reply. To reply is to give an answer or say back to someone.
She asked him what time his meeting was. He replied at 3.
Safe. When a person is safe, they are not in danger.
Put on your seatbelt in the car to be safe.
Trick. A trick is something you do to fool another person.
His card trick really surprised us.
Well. You use well to say that something was done in a good way.
The couple can dance quite well. The Lion and the Rabbit. A cruel lion lived in the forest. Every day he killed and ate a lot of animals. The other animals were afraid the lion would kill them all. The animals told the lion, "Let's make a deal. If you promise to eat only one animal each day, then one of us will come to you every day. Then you don't have to hunt and kill us." The plan sounded well thought out to the lion, so he agreed. But he also said, "If you don't come every day, I promise to kill all of you the next day." Each day after that, one animal went to the lion so that the lion could eat it. Then all the other animals were safe. Finally, it was the rabbit's turn to go to the lion. The rabbit went very slowly that day, so the lion was angry when the rabbit finally arrived. The lion angrily asked the rabbit, "Why are you late?" "I was hiding from another lion in the forest. That lion said he was the king, so I was afraid." The lion told the rabbit, "I am the only king here. Take me to that other lion and I will kill him." The rabbit replied, "I will be happy to show you where he lives." The rabbit led the lion to an old well in the middle of the forest. The well was very deep with water at the bottom. The rabbit told the lion, "Look in there. The lion lives at the bottom." When the lion looked in the well, he could see his own face in the water. He thought that was the other lion. Without waiting another moment, the lion jumped into the well to attack the other lion. He never came out. All of the other animals in the forest were very pleased with the rabbit's clever trick.
Unit 2. Word list. Adventure. An adventure is a fun or exciting thing that you do.
Riding in the rough water was an adventure.
Approach. To approach something means to move close to it.
The boy approached his school.
Carefully. Carefully means with great attention, especially to detail or safety.
The baby carefully climbed down the stairs.
Chemical. A chemical is something that scientists use in chemistry.
The scientist mixed the chemicals.
Create. To create means to make something new.
She created an igloo from blocks of snow.
Evil. Evil describes something or someone bad or cruel, not good.
The evil figure scared us all.
Experiment. An experiment is a test that you do to see what will happen.
The student did an experiment in science class.
Kill. To kill someone or something is to make them die.
I killed the fly with a fly swatter.
Laboratory. A laboratory is a room where a scientist works.
My mother works in a laboratory.
Laugh. Laugh is the sound made when someone is happy or a funny thing occurs.
The sound of their laugh filled the room.
Loud. If a sound is loud, it is strong and very easy to hear.
The man's voice was so loud that we all could hear him.
Nervous. When a person is nervous, they think something bad will happen.
The boy became nervous when he heard the news.
Noise. A noise is an unpleasant sound.
The crying baby made a loud noise.
Project. A project is a type of work that you do for a school or a job.
His afternoon work project was to paint the room green.
Scare. To scare someone is to make them feel afraid.
My uncle was scared by what he saw in the room.
Secret. A secret is something that you do not tell other people.
The two boys were sharing a secret.
Shout. To shout is to say something loudly.
My boss shouted at me because I was late for work.
Smell. To smell something means to use your nose to sense it.
The two friends smelled the flower.
Terrible. If something is terrible, it is very bad.
The way he treated his classmate was terrible.
Worse. If something is worse, it is of poorer quality than another thing.
Business was worse this month than last month.
The laboratory. Mia's father had a laboratory, but she had no idea what was in it. Her dad always closed and locked the door when he went in. She knew that he used it to do projects for work. He never told Mia what these projects were. One night, Mia approached the door to the laboratory. She stopped and thought, "I wonder what crazy experiment he is doing now." Suddenly, she heard a loud noise. It sounded like an evil laugh. The noise scared her, so she walked quickly back to her room. The next night, her friend Liz came to her house. When Liz arrived, Mia told her about the night before. "Oh, it was terrible," she said. "Why don't we see what is in there?" Liz asked. "It will be a fun adventure." Mia felt nervous about going into her father's laboratory, but she agreed. As always, the door was locked. They waited until Mia's father left the laboratory to eat dinner. "He didn't lock the door," Liz said. "Let's go." The laboratory was dark. The girls walked down the stairs carefully. Mia smelled strange chemicals. What terrible thing was her father creating? Suddenly, they heard an evil laugh. It was even worse than the one Mia heard the night before. What if a monster was going to kill them? Mia had to do something. She shouted for help. Mia's father ran into the room and turned on the lights. "Oh no," he said. "You must have learned my secret." "Your monster tried to kill us," Mia said. "Monster?" he asked. "You mean this?" He had a pretty doll in his hands. The doll laughed. The laugh didn't sound so evil anymore. "I made this for your birthday. I wanted to give it to you then, but you can have it now. I hope you like it." Unit 3. Word List. Alien. An alien is a creature from a different world.
The alien came in peace.
Among. If you are among certain things, they are all around you.
There was a red apple among the green ones.
Chart. A chart is a list of information.
We used a chart to see how we had improved.
Cloud. A cloud is a group of water drops in the sky.
The sky was filled with white clouds.
Comprehend. To comprehend something is to understand it.
Henry could not comprehend the message.
Describe. To describe is to say or write what someone or something is like.
They described their tree as colorful, with gold ribbon and a star.
Ever. Ever means at any time.
Going skiing last winter was the most fun I've ever had.
Fail. To fail means you do not succeed in what you try to do.
Since he failed to get the job, he was sad.
Friendly. Friendly is behaving in a pleasant, kind way toward someone.
The friendly animals came up to the girl.
Grade. A grade is a score or mark given to someone's work.
I managed to get good grades on my report card.
Instead. Instead means in place of.
He ate the carrot instead of the ice cream.
Library. A library is a place where you go to read books.
The library at school is full of books.
Planet. A planet is a large round thing in space.
Saturn is the planet with the ring around it.
Report. A report is something students write for school.
Karen had trouble writing her report.
Several. Several is more than two, but not many.
He had to read several books for class.
Solve. To solve something is to find an answer to it.
All the students could easily solve the math problem.
Suddenly. If something happens suddenly, it happens quickly and unexpectedly.
I was suddenly surprised by the cake my friends brought me.
Suppose. To suppose is to guess.
I suppose I should go home now.
Universe. The universe is the known or supposed objects in space.
The universe is so large that it cannot be measured.
View. To view is to look at something.
Michael likes to view himself in the mirror. The report. Lee sat among the books at the library and thought about his group project. They had to turn it in soon, but he hadn't even started his part. Jack and Claire were in his group. They had worked hard. They were also very smart, and Lee didn't want them to get a bad grade. Jack did the report. He wrote a lot of very good sentences and described things with great adjectives. Claire drew a nice map of the stars. Now Lee needed to do his part of the project. Well, I suppose I need to start my model, Lee thought. Making a model of a planet was really hard. Lee tried to read several books, but he couldn't comprehend any of the charts. "We're going to fail because of me," Lee said. He put his head down on the table and said, "I wish I could see a planet instead of having to read about it." Suddenly, there was a bright light. Lee was pulled from his chair, through the roof, and right into a strange ship. "Hello, kid," said an alien. "Did you ask for help?" Lee told the friendly alien all about his project. The alien agreed to help Lee solve his problem. "First, we'll fly through space to view the universe. Then I can help you make a model of my planet." Soon they were going through the clouds. They passed the moon. Then they viewed Mars. Lee was very excited. Instead of a bad grade, his group would have the best project ever. "It's time to go home," the alien finally said. On the way back, he helped Lee make a model of the planet Mars. Soon they were on Earth. "Thanks," Lee said. "My model will be awesome." Then he took his model and said goodbye to his new friend.
Unit 4. Word list. Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Avoid. To avoid something is to stay away from it.
Avoid the broken bottle on the floor.
Behave. To behave is to act in a particular way, especially to be good.
She always behaves well when her father is around.
Calm. When someone is calm, they do not get excited or upset.
A nice warm bath makes me feel so calm.
Concern. Concern is a feeling of worry.
I was filled with concern after reading the newspaper.
Content. To be content is to be happy and not want more.
The baby looked very content sitting on the floor.
Expect. If you expect something to happen, you believe it will happen.
I expect the bus to be here very soon.
Frequently. When something happens frequently, it happens often.
We meet frequently, either at the beginning or ending of the week.
Habit. A habit is a thing that you do often.
Smoking is a bad habit that can kill you.
Instruct. To instruct is to teach.
My teacher instructs us in several subjects.
Issue. An issue is an important topic.
The men spoke about issues that were important to the people.
None. None means not any of someone or something.
He spent all his money. There is none left.
Patient. If a person is patient, they don't become angry or upset easily.
I had to be patient and wait until 5 o'clock to leave.
Positive. If something is positive, it is good.
She has a positive future ahead of her after finishing college.
Punish. To punish means to make someone suffer for breaking the rules or laws.
To punish me, my teacher had me stand in the corner.
Represent. To represent is to speak or act for a person or group.
My lawyer will represent me in court.
Shake. To shake is to move back and forth or up and down quickly.
When people shake hands, it usually means they agree.
Spread. To spread is to move quickly to more places.
I like to spread butter on my toast.
Stroll. To stroll means to walk slowly and calmly.
My dog and I strolled through the park today.
Village. A village is a very small town.
There are only a few houses in my village.
The dog's bell. John's dog was a bad dog. He bit people frequently. John had great concern about this. It was not an appropriate way for a dog to behave. His friends in the village always expected the dog to bite them. The news about John's dog spread through the village. None of the people wanted to go to John's house. John tried to instruct the dog to behave, but it never worked. He tried to be patient and teach the dog to be calm. That also didn't work. John didn't want to punish the dog. How will I stop my dog's bad habit? John asked himself. John's friend came to talk to him about the issue. During their important meeting, his friend said, "The people in the village asked me to represent them. We want your dog to stop this habit. Why don't you put a bell around the dog's neck? This way, we would hear your dog coming down the street." John thought this was a great idea. Now people could stay away from the dog. It would not be able to bite anyone anymore. The dog liked the bell too. People looked at him when they heard his bell. This made the dog very content. He liked the song the bell played when he walked. One day, John's dog strolled through the village and met some other dogs. He expected them to want a bell like his. But they laughed at his bell. They said the bell made people avoid him. John's dog shook his head. "No, they look at me because they like the bell." The other dog said, "You have the wrong idea of what makes you popular. Of course they like your bell. It tells them where you are so they can avoid you. You aren't able to bite them anymore. You see, being popular isn't something positive when it's for the wrong reason." Unit 5. Word list. Aware. If you are aware of something, you know about it.
I was not aware of the ringing phone.
Badly. Badly means in a severe or harmful way.
He hurt his arm badly playing with friends.
Belong. If something belongs to you, you own it.
The blue suit belongs to Paul.
Continue. To continue something is to keep doing it.
She stood under her umbrella as the rain continued to fall.
Error. An error is something you do wrong.
I made an error on my report, so my boss was angry.
Experience. An experience is something you have seen or done.
Rock climbing was a fun experience.
Field. A field is a big area of land.
The field of flowers looked so pretty.
Hurt. To hurt is to do something that makes you feel pain.
She hurt her leg falling down the stairs.
Judgment. Judgment is the ability to form opinions or decisions.
It's good judgment to recycle your aluminum cans.
Likely. If something likely happens, it will probably happen.
I will likely stay at home and watch TV tonight.
Normal. If something is normal, it is not strange nor surprising to you.
It is normal for me to bathe every night.
Rare. If something is rare, you do not see it very often.
It is rare for him to miss his flight.
Relax. To relax is to rest.
The frog relaxed in the warm sun.
Request. To request something is to ask for it.
The little girl requested a special gift from Santa Claus.
Reside. To reside means to live somewhere permanently or for a long time.
My brother and his family reside in a lovely house on the beach.
Result. A result is something that happens because of something else.
As a result of all the rain, the man had to climb on the roof.
Roll. To roll is to move by turning over and over.
You must roll the ball into the pins when you bowl.
Since. Since is used to talk about a past event still happening now.
Since 1992, he has been driving that car.
Visible. If something is visible, it can be seen.
The moon and stars were visible in the night sky.
Wild. If something is wild, it is found in nature.
You should be careful around a fox because it is a wild animal. The Jackal and the Sunchild. A jackal is a wild dog with a big black back. It resides in the desert. But how did the jackal get his black back? This was how it happened. One day, the jackal saw a girl. She was sitting upon a rock. She was not a normal child. She was a rare and beautiful sunchild. She was bright and warm like the sun. The child saw the jackal and smiled. She said, "Jackal, I have been relaxing on this rock for too long. I must get home soon. But I am slow and you are fast. You will likely get me home more quickly." Then she requested, "Will you carry me home? If you do, I'll give you a gift. This necklace belongs to me, but I will give it to you." The wild jackal agreed. So the sunchild sat on the dog's back. They started to walk, but soon the jackal felt ill. The sunchild was very hot on his back. The heat was hurting his back very badly. "I made a terrible error in judgment," he thought. He shouldn't have agreed to carry her. so he asked her to get off. But she did not. The jackal's back continued to get hotter and harder. He had to get away from the sun-child, so he made a plan. First, he ran as fast as he could. He hoped the sun-child would fall off, but she did not. So when the sun-child was looking at the sky, not aware of the jackal's next plan, he jumped into a field of flowers. As a result, the child rolled off his back. The jackal ran away. But the sun-child left a mark on the jackal's back, a visible black mark. Ever since his experience with the sun-child, the jackal has had a black back.
Unit 6. Word list. Advantage. An advantage is something that helps you.
Being tall is an advantage to a basketball player.
Cause. To cause is to make something happen.
The cold weather caused her to get sick.
Choice. A choice is the act or possibility of picking something.
I had my choice of 5 doors to open.
Community. A community is a group of people who live together.
The kids from my community usually play together.
Dead. To be dead is to not be alive.
A dead person is usually buried in the ground.
Distance. The distance between two things is how far it is between them.
The distance between the Earth and the Moon is 384,400 kilometers.
Escape. To escape is to run away from something bad.
The butterfly could not escape from the cage.
Face. If you face a problem, you deal with it.
My sister and I have to find a better way to face our differences.
Follow. To follow means to go behind someone and go where they go.
The little boy followed his mother home.
Fright. Fright is the feeling of being scared.
She was filled with fright.
Ghost. A ghost is the spirit of a dead person.
Many people are afraid of ghosts.
Individual. An individual is one person.
Only one individual could win the bicycle race.
Pet. A pet is an animal that lives with people.
Out of all my pets, the dog is my favorite.
Reach. To reach means to arrive at a place.
I was happy to finally reach my destination.
Return. To return is to go back to a place.
I was happy to return home to my mom after school.
Survive. To survive is to stay alive.
My dog survived her fall into the water.
Upset. To be upset is to be unhappy about something.
She was upset because she broke her toy.
Voice. A voice is the sound a person makes when they talk or sing.
He used a microphone so everyone could hear his voice.
Weather. The weather is the condition of the air. Hot, rainy, windy, etc.
The weather can be sunny, rainy, or cold.
Wise. To be wise is to use experience and intelligence to make good choices.
Many people believe that owls are very wise animals.
The Friendly Ghost. A nice woman lived by a large river. She loved children. She wanted to help them in any way. She loved her community, and everyone in the community loved her. She lived a very long time and became very wise. When she died, she became a ghost. She was dead, but every night she returned to her community. She wanted to help children and not to cause them fright, but she had a scary voice. Children were afraid of her, but the ghost was a good one. She only scared them to help them. One night, some children and a dog were playing by the river. They were having fun with their pet, but they were far from home. Then the weather became bad. It rained and rained. The river was rising. It was very dark. The children knew they were lost. They needed to go north, but they didn't know which direction it was. When the moon came out, they saw a ghost by the river. The ghost said, "Go away!" The children felt great fright. They knew it was a ghost. Then the ghost moved closer. She yelled again, "Go away!" The children became very upset. Some of them began to cry. The children knew they had a choice. They could escape, or they could stay and face this scary individual in the dark. The children ran a long distance away. The ghost followed them all the way. Finally, the children reached home. The ghost was very happy. Soon the river rose higher and higher. It was very dangerous. The ghost had helped the children survive. She had saved them from the rising water. She also used her power to lead them home. Sometimes, meeting a ghost has advantages. A ghost can save your life. Unit 7. Word list. Allow. To allow something to happen means to let it happen.
Having a ticket will allow you to enter the show.
Announce. To announce something is to make it known.
He announced to everyone his new idea for the company.
Beside. When someone or something is beside you, they are next to you.
The two brothers stood beside each other.
Challenge. A challenge is something difficult to complete.
It was a challenge to climb to the top of the mountain.
Claim. To claim means to say that something is true.
He claimed to know why the country's laws were weak.
Condition. The condition of someone or something is the state that they are in.
The patient's condition was very good.
Contribute. To contribute to something means to do something to make it successful.
We decided to contribute money to the new hospital.
Difference. A difference is a way that something is not like other things.
The biggest difference between the birds is the color of their feathers.
Divide. To divide something is to make it into smaller parts.
We divided the pizza.
Expert. An expert is someone who is very good at doing something.
The wizard was an expert at magic.
Famous. If someone or something is famous, they are known to many people.
The Eiffel Tower in Paris is very famous.
Force. Force is a person's strength or power.
He used all his force to try and open the door.
Harm. Harm is hurt or problems caused to someone or something.
A hot iron can cause great harm if you are not careful.
Lay. To lay means to put or place in a horizontal or flat position.
Don't lay your socks on the floor.
Peace. Peace is a time without war.
A white dove is a symbol for peace.
Prince. A prince is the son of a king.
The prince and the princess were married.
Protect. To protect someone is to stop them from getting hurt.
Firemen protect us from fires.
Sense. To sense something is to know about it without being told.
I could sense that he was watching me.
Sudden. When something is sudden, it happens very quickly.
He felt a sudden pain in his chest.
Therefore. Therefore means for this reason.
He is fat, therefore he will go on a diet. The Best Prince. King Minos was very sick. His condition was getting worse. He had 3 sons. He loved them all. He had to announce who would become king. 2 of the princes stood waiting outside the king's room. Theseus was the oldest and strongest. He thought his father would make him king. Peleus, the second son, thought differently. He was an expert with weapons. He thought the king would choose him. "When I'm king," Theseus told Peleus, "I'll let you contribute to the defense of our country. You can lead the army." Peleus became angry. "Father knows I'm famous for my sword skills. He'll make me king." "You?" Theseus yelled. "He won't choose you." "The kingdom is mine," Peleus claimed. "Father will give it to me, or I'll use force to take it." Theseus made a sudden move to take out his sword. Then Peleus did the same. "Beating me will be a challenge," Theseus said. "Fight me now. The winner gets the kingdom." Peleus agreed. King Minos could hear his sons fighting. The youngest son, Jason, stood beside him. He sensed his father's sadness. The king laid his hand flat on Jason's arm. "Your brothers fight too much," the king told him. "I must protect my kingdom from all harm. They'll divide it between them. The people won't know what to do. There'll be war. I can't allow either of them to be king. Therefore, I'm making you king. Your kindness has always made you special. It's the difference between you and your brothers. You can bring peace. They can't." Then the king died. Theseus and Peleus heard that their youngest brother was king. They were surprised. They realized that their fighting was wrong. It had kept them from saying goodbye to their father. They agreed to have Jason as their king. He was the best choice.
Unit 8. Word list. Accept. To accept something that is offered is to take it.
I accepted the girl's very nice gift.
Arrange. To arrange things is to put them in the right place.
Please arrange the bowling pins in order so we can play.
Attend. To attend something is to go to it.
My sister and I attend the same school.
Balance. To balance something is to keep it from falling.
We saw an elephant balance itself on a ball.
Contrast. A contrast is the sharp difference between two things.
The contrast between my parents is very noticeable.
Encourage. To encourage someone is to make them want to do something.
My football coach will encourage us when we are losing.
Familiar. If someone or something is familiar to you, you know them well.
The 2 friends were very familiar with each other.
Grab. To grab is to take hold of someone or something suddenly.
I grabbed a pear from the tree.
Hang. To hang something is to keep it above the ground.
I drew a picture of my family and my mother hung it on the wall.
Huge. If something is huge, it is very big.
At work, my father drives a huge truck.
Necessary. If something is necessary, you must do it.
It is necessary to have a passport when you travel to a foreign country.
Pattern. A pattern is a way in which something is done or organized.
My pattern of brushing my teeth is the same as most people's.
Propose. To propose something is to say that it should be done.
Santa Claus proposed that I try to be a good boy all year.
Purpose. A purpose is the reason that you do something.
The purpose of exercising is to get into shape.
Release. To release something is to stop holding it.
She released the bird from her hands.
Require. To require something is to say that it is necessary.
We require teachers to have a university degree.
Single. If something is single, then there is only one.
I have a single key in my hand.
Success. Success is doing something well that you choose to do.
My daughter was a big success at school.
Tear. To tear something means to pull it apart.
It is easy to tear paper.
Theory. A theory is an idea about how something works.
We talked about Einstein's theory of relativity in class.
How the sun and the moon were made. Do you ever wonder where the moon and the sun came from? The Inuit people of Alaska have a theory. They tell a story about a beautiful girl. She was very nice. In contrast, her brother was a mean little boy. One day he proposed something. "We should go to a party," he said. The girl accepted. First, it was necessary for her to prepare. She arranged her hair and put on nice clothes. This required a lot of time. But the girl worked hard, and soon she had success. She looked perfect. They attended the party together. The girl was having fun. Later, she walked into the bathroom. Suddenly, the lights were turned off. Someone grabbed her hair and tore her clothes. She ran out of the bathroom. She wanted to know who did this to her. Then she had an idea. She fixed her hair again. This time it was even more beautiful. She even balanced beautiful jewels in it. She wanted to encourage the person to grab it again. She put black dirt in her hair. The purpose of this was to catch the person. She went to the bathroom again, and it was the same pattern. The lights went off, and someone grabbed her hair. When he released it, his hand was black. The girl returned to the party. She knew there was only a single person with a black hand. When she saw that person, he was very familiar. It was her brother. He ran into the woods. The girl ran after him. They both carried fire so they could see in the dark. The smoke went into the air. As they ran, they grew. They became huge. Then they went into space. When the girl's fire went out, she hung in the sky. She became the moon, and her brother became the sun. They chase each other forever. Unit 9. Word list. Against. To be against something is to be touching it or opposed to it.
They both leaned against the wall.
Beach. The beach is a sandy or rocky place by the ocean.
The little girl built a sandcastle on the beach.
Damage. To damage something is to break it.
The car was damaged in the accident.
Discover. To discover something is to find it for the first time.
I discovered some new information in this book.
Emotion. An emotion is how you feel.
Anger is a common emotion that we all feel.
Fix. To fix something is to make it work.
My dad has many tools to help him fix broken things.
Frank. If you are frank, you are being very honest.
The teacher had a frank discussion with her students.
Identify. To identify something is to be able to name it.
I used the file to identify his name.
Island. An island is land in the middle of water.
Japan is a group of islands.
Ocean. The ocean is all of the salt water that surrounds land.
The ocean can make powerful waves.
Perhaps. Perhaps is used when you say that something could happen.
Perhaps I will eat an apple for lunch.
Pleasant. If something is pleasant, you enjoy it.
The character had a pleasant look on its face.
Prevent. To prevent something is to stop it from happening.
The handcuffs prevented me from moving my hands.
Rock. A rock is a hard thing in the dirt.
I stacked rocks on top of one another.
Save. To save something is to keep it from being hurt.
I want to help save the world.
Step. To step is to walk.
Be careful where you step.
Still. Still is used when you say that a situation keeps going on.
They are still waiting in line to get tickets.
Taste. A taste is the flavor something makes in your mouth.
The taste of the fruit was sweet.
Throw. To throw something is to use your hand to make it go through the air.
The pitcher can throw the baseball very fast.
Wave. A wave is a line of water that moves higher than the rest of the water.
The water was filled with large blue waves. The starfish. Last summer, I took a trip to an island. I had a lot of fun. I sat and watched the waves and listened to the ocean. I learned to identify birds. I discovered pretty things and enjoyed the taste of new foods. It was a very nice time. One evening, I took a pleasant walk by the ocean. When the waves came in, many starfish fell on the beach. Some starfish went back into the water, and they were safe. But other starfish were still on the sand. They would die if they did not get into the water. There were many starfish on the beach that night. It made me sad, but I knew I could not fix the problem. I stepped very carefully, so I did not damage them. Then I saw a little girl. She was also sad about the starfish. She wanted to prevent all of them from dying. She asked me if I could perhaps help her. To be frank, I don't think we can do anything, I said. The little girl started to cry. She sat back against a rock and thought for a while. Finally, the emotion was gone. She stopped crying and stood up. Then she picked up a starfish and threw it into the water. "What are you doing?" I asked her. But she did not answer me. She just threw as many starfish as she could. "You cannot save all of them," I said. She stopped to look at me. "No, I cannot save them all," she replied. Then she picked up a very big starfish and said, "But I can save this one." And then she smiled and threw the starfish as far as she could into the ocean.
Unit 10. Word list. Benefit. A benefit is a good thing.
Being able to fly is a good benefit to birds.
Certain. If you are certain about something, you know it is true.
I am certain that zebras have stripes.
Chance. A chance is an opportunity to do something.
I had a chance to see the Roman Colosseum last summer.
Effect. An effect is a change made by something else.
The medicine had a good effect on the boy.
Essential. If something is essential, it is very important and necessary.
It is essential to have oxygen when you scuba dive.
Far. If something is far, it is not close.
It's far going from the East Coast to the West Coast of America.
Focus. To focus on something is to think about it and pay attention to it.
My mom always helps me to focus on my schoolwork.
Function. The function of something is what it does.
The function of a flashlight is to help you see in the dark.
Grass. Grass is the green leaves that cover the ground.
The grass looks so soft and green.
Guard. To guard something is to take care of it.
The police officer will guard us from any harm.
Image. The image of something is a picture of it.
The image of her eye was very clear.
Immediate. If something is immediate, it happens quickly.
An immediate response came from the pizza place.
Primary. If something is primary, it is the most important thing.
His primary thoughts are about money.
Proud. If someone feels proud, they are happy about what they have done.
She is proud of the picture she drew of her house.
Remain. To remain somewhere is to stay there.
My sister had to remain home since she was sick.
Rest. To rest is to stop being active while the body gets back its strength.
I rested on the couch after work.
Separate. If two things are separate, they are not together.
New York and Los Angeles are in two separate parts of America.
Site. A site is a place.
We found the perfect site for our picnic.
Tail. A tail is a part of an animal's body, sticking out from its rear or back.
Our dog wags its tail when it's happy.
Trouble. Trouble is a problem or a difficulty.
I have trouble working with my boss.
The first peacock. Argos lived in ancient Greece. He was a husband and a proud father. He worked hard and did well at his job. But one thing about him wasn't normal. He was born with 100 eyes. Having many eyes was usually a benefit to him. He had a chance to see many things. Also, since he had so many eyes, he was very good at guarding things. While sleeping, he only rested a few eyes at a time. The others stayed awake. He worked for Hera, a great goddess. His primary function was to guard a special cow. The cow was very important to Hera. It was her favorite pet. The most essential part of his job was to keep the cow alone. It had to be kept separate from all the other cows and far away from people. This was an easy job for Argos. The cow just ate grass all day. But the god Zeus wanted the cow. He wanted to take it away from Hera. He had a plan. He found a great music player. He asked the man to play a beautiful song for Argos. Zeus was certain Argos would go to sleep. The song had an immediate effect. Argos couldn't focus on his job. He fell asleep. Zeus saw this, and he took the cow. Hera was very angry with Argos. She turned him into a peacock. She put his many eyes on his tail. Argos was very sad. Zeus saw how much trouble he had caused Argos. He made another plan. He turned Argos into a group of stars. He wanted Argos to remain in the sky forever. Even today, Argos's image remains there, above the site where all his problems began. We can still see him in the night sky. Unit 11. Word list. Anymore. Any more means any longer.
Her old pants don't fit her anymore.
Asleep. When a person is asleep, they are not awake.
The baby has been asleep for hours.
Berry. A berry is a small round fruit that grows on certain plants and trees.
The berry looked delicious.
Collect. To collect things is to group them together all in one place.
I collected shells when I was younger.
Compete. To compete is to try to be better than someone.
He will compete with very good athletes.
Conversation. A conversation is a talk between people.
There were two conversations going on at once.
Creature. A creature is any living thing.
The creature we saw today was either a dolphin or a porpoise.
Decision. A decision is a choice.
He made the wrong decision.
Either. Either is used with or to say there are two or more possibilities.
You can choose to be either white or black when you play chess.
Forest. A forest is a place with lots of trees and animals.
I love to go walking in the forest.
Ground. The ground is the top part of the earth that we walk on.
The ground under our feet was dry and brown.
Introduce. To introduce someone or something is to say who they are.
I introduced myself to our newest coworker today.
Marry. To marry is to legally become husband and wife.
Rose and Henry were married, and they lived happily.
Prepare. To prepare is to get ready for something.
I prepared my speech to the class.
Sail. To sail is to move a boat on the water.
I love to sail my boat on the lake.
Serious. When something is serious, it is bad or unsafe.
The accident was very serious.
Spend. To spend is to use time doing something or being somewhere.
I like to spend my free time fishing.
Strange. When something is strange, it is not normal.
Joe had a strange look on his face after he saw what happened.
Truth. The truth is a fact or something that is right.
He was telling the truth about seeing a large green snake.
Wake. To wake is to not be sleeping anymore.
He is always full of energy when he wakes in the morning. Princess Rose and the Creature. There was once a beautiful princess named Rose. Her mother, the queen, however, was not as beautiful as the princess. The queen felt bad that she was not the most beautiful woman in the kingdom anymore. She was tired of competing with her daughter. She made a decision. She prepared a drink for the princess. After the princess drank it, she fell asleep. Then the queen took the princess to the forest. She left the princess there. It was a very serious thing to do. Either she will be killed by animals or she will get lost in the forest, the queen thought. The princess had a dream. She dreamed about a man with brown hair and brown eyes. It was the man she would wed. The princess woke up. She saw a strange creature on the ground. It looked like a man, but he was hairy and green. He had horns on his head and a pig's nose. The creature said, "Did I scare you? I hope not. Let me introduce myself. I am Henry." "I am not scared. To tell you the truth, I think you are cute," said Rose. Rose and Henry spent the day together. They collected berries, caught fish, and had lunch. They had a very good day filled with nice conversations. Rose, I have to go home, said Henry. My ship will sail home soon. I can't leave you here in the forest alone. Will you come with me? Rose was very happy. She gave Henry a kiss right on his pig nose. As soon as she kissed Henry, he began to change. His pig nose turned into a man's nose. His horns and green hair went away. Standing in front of her was the man Rose had dreamt about. Rose and Henry were married, and they lived happily.
Unit 12. Word list. Alone. If someone is alone, they are not with another person.
The boy wanted to be alone to think.
Apartment. An apartment is a set of rooms in a building where people live.
She has a nice apartment in the city.
Article. An article is a story in a newspaper or magazine.
Did you read the article in the newspaper about the soccer game?
Artist. An artist is a person who paints, draws, or makes sculptures.
He went to Paris to become an artist.
Attitude. Someone's attitude is the way they feel and think.
John has a bad attitude. He's always angry.
Compare. To compare means to say how two things are the same and different.
If you compare cats and dogs, you'll see that they're both good pets.
Judge. To judge something is to say if it is good or bad.
The boy was going to judge how his mother's turkey tasted.
Magazine. A magazine is a regular publication with news, stories, and articles.
She likes to read fashion magazines.
Material. A material is what is used to make something.
Brick is a good material for building houses.
Meal. A meal is a time when food is eaten, like breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Breakfast is my favorite meal because I enjoy breakfast foods.
Method. A method is the way to do something.
One method to remember things is to tie a string around your finger.
Neighbor. A neighbor is a person who lives near you.
I like my neighbor because he's very friendly.
Professional. If something is professional, it deals with work that uses special skills.
If you want to be a pilot, you must have professional training.
Profit. A profit is the extra money you make when you sell something.
I made a small profit from selling my old clothes.
Quality. The quality of something is how good it is.
The quality of his car is very good.
Shape. A shape is a simple form like a square or circle.
The triangle is my favorite shape.
Space. A space is an empty area.
I don't have much space for things in my small house.
Stair. Stairs are the things that are used to go up in a building.
You can take the stairs to the second floor.
Symbol. A symbol is a thing that stands for something else.
This symbol tells us that we cannot smoke in this area.
Thin. If someone or something is thin, they are not fat.
The man was thin because he didn't eat much.
The crazy artist. Fraunhofer was the best artist in the world. Everyone loved him. The quality of his paintings was very high. He always used the best materials. He made a big profit from his paintings. He had delicious meals with his rich neighbors. He taught art classes. Life was good. Then his attitude changed. He stopped selling paintings and teaching. He tried a new method of painting. He stayed alone in his apartment all day. He worked all day and all night, rarely eating. Soon Fraunhofer became very thin, but he kept working on the same paintings for many years. He worked as hard as he could. Finally, he finished the painting. He was very happy and invited other artists to see it. "I want your professional opinion," he said. He wanted them to judge it and compare it to other paintings. Everyone was very excited as they went up the stairs to his apartment. Fraunhofer was excited to show his painting, and the artists were excited to see it. "They'll love it," he thought. But they did not. They were surprised by his painting. There was no white anywhere. Fraunhofer filled the whole painting with lines and colors. There was no space for a normal picture. It was full of strange shapes. It looked bad to the other artists. He used symbols, and they didn't understand them. They thought it was terrible. "Why did you paint this strange picture?" someone asked. They didn't understand its beauty. But after some time, many people began to like his painting. People wrote articles about it in magazines. They said it was his best work. They loved his strange symbols. They loved his strange colors. Fraunhofer's painting reminded everyone that just because something was new didn't mean that it was bad. He also helped them to realize that sometimes it takes people a little time to understand great things. Unit 13. Word list. Blood. Blood is the red liquid in your body.
I cut my finger and got blood on my shirt.
Burn. To burn something is to set it on fire.
I burned some wood in the campfire.
Cell. A cell is a small room where a person is locked in.
The jail cell was very small.
Contain. To contain something is to have it inside.
The mailbox contained a letter.
Correct. To be correct is to be right.
All of my answers on the test were correct.
Crop. A crop is food that a farmer grows.
Wheat is a crop that is made into bread.
Demand. To demand something is to say strongly that you want it.
The workers demanded to be paid more money.
Equal. To be equal is to be the same.
Both students are equal in age.
Feed. To feed is to give food.
Mother feeds my baby brother every day.
Hole. A hole is an opening in something.
The man was going to jump into the hole in the ice.
Increase. To increase something is to make it larger or more.
They've increased the price of gas by 15 cents.
Lord. Long ago, a lord was a man in charge of a town.
The lord of the town was not kind.
Owe. To owe is to have to pay or give back something received from another.
I owed him $20, so I paid him back.
Position. A position is the way something is placed.
How can you sit in that position?
Raise. To raise something is to lift it up.
We had to work together to raise the last piece.
Responsible. If a person is responsible, they do the right things.
I tried to be responsible and save money.
Sight. A sight is something interesting to see.
I saw the pyramids of Egypt. What a sight!
Spot. A spot is a place where something happens.
The kitchen is a good spot to eat meals.
Structure. A structure is a building.
They just built a beautiful new structure downtown.
Whole. Whole means all of something.
I ate the whole pie. We don't have any more. The Farmer and the Cats. Arthur was a responsible farmer, and Maria was a nice lady. But they were poor. They owed the town lord money for their land. One summer, their farm burned. One structure caught fire, and most of the animals ran away. Only the cats stayed. So Arthur and Maria had to bring in their crops without an animal's help. On a fall day, the Lord demanded his money. Arthur asked if the Lord could wait until he brought in his crops. The Lord was angry. He raised his hands high and yelled, "Pay me by the end of the week. If you don't, I will increase the money you have to pay. I might put you in a jail cell." So Arthur and Maria worked until there was blood on their hands. They finished 4 lines of corn and went to bed. But the next morning, 8 lines were finished. "Maria, didn't we stop in this spot here?" Arthur asked. "Yes, that is correct, and the tools were in a different position too," Maria said. They were surprised and happy. That day, they worked hard and finished 5 lines. But in the morning, 10 lines were done. Each day, they did a lot of work. Each night, someone else did an equal amount of work. In a week, the whole field was finished. "Tomorrow I will sell the crops and pay the Lord," Arthur said. But that morning, the crops were gone. A bag was in the middle of the field. It contained money. "Maria, let's see who has helped us work." Through a hole in the wall, they saw a funny sight. The cats were dancing in the field and eating corn. Now Arthur knew what had happened. The cats had worked at night. After that, Arthur was very nice to his cats and fed them lots of corn.
Unit 14. Word list. Coach. A coach is a person who teaches sports.
My coach gets very excited during games.
Control. To control something is to make it do what you want.
To control the TV, just push the buttons.
Description. A description of someone or something says what they are like.
I gave a description of the man with the gun and hat to the police.
Direct. If something is direct, it goes straight between 2 places.
The green path is a direct route to my house.
Exam. An exam is a test.
I did some practice questions for the math exam on the board.
Example. An example of something is a thing that is typical of it.
Cola is an example of a soft drink.
Limit. A limit is the largest or smallest amount of something that you allow.
My mother put a limit on how much I could use the phone.
Local. If something is local, it is nearby.
The local market in my neighborhood sells all the food we need.
Magical. Magical describes a quality that makes someone or something special.
The fireworks made the night sky look so magical.
Mail. Mail is letters and other things sent to people.
I get a lot of mail because I have friends all over the world.
Novel. A novel is a book that tells a story.
He wrote a great novel about ancient China.
Outline. An outline is the plan for a story or essay.
Before I wrote my essay, I made an outline.
Poet. A poet is a person who writes poems.
William Shakespeare was one of the greatest poets.
Print. To print something is to put it onto paper.
Make sure that you print your name clearly.
Scene. A scene is one part of a book or movie.
A movie is made up of many short pieces or scenes.
Sheet. A sheet is a thin, flat piece of paper.
I only needed a single sheet of paper to do my homework.
Silly. If someone or something is silly, they show a lack of thought.
I made a silly mistake of dropping Mom's vase.
Store. A store is a place where you can buy things.
I picked up a few things at the grocery store.
Suffer. To suffer is to feel pain.
Her headache made her suffer all day.
Technology. Technology is new things made by using science.
He loves technology, such as laptop computers.
A magical book. Sarah loved to read. She read novels and poems. She loved the beautiful descriptions and phrases. She loved reading work from poets and novelists. She didn't like video games or technology. She was on the basketball team, but she didn't like sports. Her parents made her play basketball. In fact, Sarah's parents made her do many things, but she didn't want to do those things. She just wanted to sit and read all day. One day, a small book came in the mail. It was for Sarah. The book looked very special. It was printed on sheets of gold. Sarah began to read. The outline of the story was simple. It was about a magical place. Strange things happened there. One example from the book was about a boy who could control people. In one scene, he made his friends tell funny jokes. Sarah loved the book. She read it all the time. Then something strange happened. The book gave Sarah a special power. She could control other people. She was like the boy in the book. During one exam, she made her friend tell silly jokes. Her friend got in trouble. After school, Sarah did not make a direct trip home. On the way, she went to the local store. She wanted to play more tricks on people. She caused problems. She made people fall down. She laughed and had fun. Finally, she left and started to walk home. Then she saw something. Her basketball coach was about to walk in front of a bus. He was looking the other way. She had to stop him. She used her power. She controlled him. She made him stop walking. Sarah learned something that day. It was better to help people than make them suffer. So she put a limit on how she used her power. She did not want to do bad things with it anymore. She only wanted to do good. Unit 15. Word list. Across. To go across something is to go to the other side of it.
He walked across the board to the other side.
Breathe. To breathe means to let air go in and out of your body.
We need strong, healthy lungs to help us breathe well.
Characteristic. A characteristic is something that shows what a person or a thing is like.
One characteristic of tigers is their black stripes.
Consume. To consume something means to eat or drink it.
Jack consumed a whole plate of spaghetti.
Excite. To excite someone means to make them happy and interested.
I heard about the school dance on Friday. This excited me.
Extreme. If something is extreme, it is in a large amount or degree.
His workout was so extreme that he was sweating heavily.
Fear. Fear is the feeling of being afraid.
I have a great fear of skateboarding.
Fortunate. If you are fortunate, you are lucky.
I was fortunate to get a seat.
Happen. If someone happens to do something, they do it by chance.
I happened to meet some new friends at school today.
Length. The length of something is how long it is from one end to the other.
The length of the floor is 3 meters.
Mistake. A mistake is something you do wrong.
My boss always yells at me when I make a mistake.
Observe. To observe something is to watch it.
Ryan observed the sun rising over the mountains.
Opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something.
I had an opportunity to take pictures in the jungle.
Prize. A prize is something of value that is given to the winner.
I won a prize for getting the best grade on my science test.
Race. A race is a contest to see who is the fastest.
Paul is a fast runner, so he easily won the race.
Realize. To realize is to suddenly understand.
After I left my house, I realized that I left the light on.
Respond. To respond is to give an answer to what someone else said.
When the teacher asked the question, we all responded.
Risk. A risk is a chance of something bad happening.
I took a risk and climbed the snowy mountain.
Wonder. To wonder is to ask yourself questions or have a need to know.
The young mother wondered if she'd have a boy or a girl.
Yet. Yet is used to say something has not happened up to now.
We can't go out yet. We're still eating. The Big Race. A dog saw a group of animals across the road. He walked over to meet them. "What are you doing?" he asked them. "I just sold them tickets to a race between the rabbit and the turtle," the duck responded. This news excited the dog. He felt fortunate that he happened to be there. "I don't have anything to do today," the dog said. "I want to buy a ticket too." The dog sat down to observe the race. The race would be extreme. It would be many kilometers in length. The rabbit and the turtle stood next to each other. They waited for the race to start. The dog wondered why the turtle agreed to run against the rabbit. Being fast was not a characteristic of turtles. The rabbit was going to win easily. Suddenly, the race began. The rabbit ran extremely quickly. The turtle walked slowly. After a minute, the rabbit looked back. He saw that the turtle was far behind him and was breathing quickly because he was so tired. The rabbit smiled and slowed to a walk. A minute later, the rabbit said, "I'm winning, so I'll take a rest." He sat and began to consume some grass. Then he let his eyes close. He wasn't the winner yet, but there was no risk of him losing the race. He went to sleep. Hours later, a loud sound woke him. All of the animals were yelling and looking at the field. He felt fear for the first time. The turtle was almost at the finish line. Now the rabbit realized his mistake, but the race was over. He gave the turtle an opportunity to win, and the turtle took it. The duck handed the turtle his prize. It was the happiest day of the turtle's life. The dog was happy for the turtle. He isn't fast, the dog thought, but he tried his best and did something great.
Unit 16. Word list. Academy. An academy is a special type of school.
There are many courses taught at the academy that I go to.
Ancient. If something is ancient, it is very old.
I want to see the ancient buildings in Rome.
Board. A board is a flat piece of wood.
The sign was made of a few wooden boards.
Century. A century is 100 years.
Our company is celebrating a century of business in London.
Clue. A clue is a fact or object that helps solve a mystery or crime.
The detective found some clues on the sidewalk.
Concert. A concert is an event where you listen to people play music.
I enjoyed the concert last night. The band was very good.
County. A county is the largest political division of a state in the U.S.
He wanted to represent the citizens of his county.
Dictionary. A dictionary is a book that tells you what words mean.
I use the dictionary to learn new words.
Exist. To exist is to be real.
Do you really think that unicorns ever existed?
Flat. Flat describes something that is level and smooth with no curved parts.
My parents bought a new flat-screen TV over the weekend.
Gentleman. A gentleman is a nice man.
My grandfather is a kind and helpful gentleman.
Hidden. Hidden means to be not easily noticed or too hard to find.
The hidden camera recorded everything in the parking lot.
Maybe. Maybe is used to show that something is possible or may be true.
If I focus hard enough, maybe I can come up with the right answer.
Officer. An officer is a leader in the army.
The soldiers followed the orders of the officer.
Original. If something is original, it is the first one of that thing.
This is the original painting of the Mona Lisa.
Pound. To pound something is to hit it many times with a lot of force.
He pounded the nail with the hammer.
Process. A process is the steps to take to do something.
Making a cake is a long process.
Publish. To publish a book is to get it printed and ready to sell.
That company publishes daily newspapers.
Theater. A theater is a building where you watch plays, shows, and movies.
We went to the theater to see a play.
Wealth. Wealth is a large amount of money.
One of the most important things to some people is wealth.
Adams County's gold. Adams Academy was a good school. Boys lived there and took classes. Tom worked hard all week. On a spring Saturday, he wanted to do something fun. He asked his friend Jeff to go to the movie theater. "Sorry," Jeff answered. "I'm going to a concert." So Tom asked Joe to go to the movies. But Joe's soccer team had a game. Next, Tom went down the hall to Brad's room. Brad was reading a very large old book. "Hi, Brad," Tom said. "Are you reading a dictionary? It looks ancient." "No, this is called The Wealth of Adams County. It's about hidden gold in Adams County. It's more than a century old. It was published in 1870. Look, it even has the original cover on it." Tom asked, "Where did you get it?" "It's from my dad's friend. He is a nice gentleman, an officer in the army," answered Brad. "The gold doesn't really exist, does it?" Tom asked. "I don't know, but maybe. There are clues to it in this book. Let's find it." Looking for gold sounded like fun. The first clue was to find a flat tree underground. "It must be in the forest," Tom said. Brad said, "The flat tree could be a board under the dirt. It could cover the gold." Tom and Brad dug in the dirt all morning. The process of looking for gold made them hungry. They were ready to stop for lunch. But then Brad hit something hard. It was a board. Brad pounded on the board until it broke. There was a small hole under it. "Look!" He held up a gold coin. Tom saw a piece of paper in the hole. "Brad, there's more. It's a map to the rest of the gold." Brad smiled. "Let's go." And they hurried to find the wealth of Adams County. Unit 17. Word list. Appreciate. To appreciate something is to understand its good qualities.
I can appreciate the lovely scenery.
Available. If something is available, it means you can get it.
There were many seats available in the room.
Beat. To beat someone means to do better than they do.
I managed to beat everyone in the race.
Bright. If something is bright, it shows a lot of light.
The bright light from the explosion hurt my eyes.
Celebrate. To celebrate is to do something to show that an event is special.
We all celebrated when we heard the great news.
Determine. To determine means to choose or make a decision.
He tried to determine which one to eat first.
Disappear. To disappear means to go away or not be seen.
The top of the building is disappearing in the clouds.
Else. If you talk about something else, you talk about something different.
I wanted a bike for my birthday, but I got something else.
Fair. Fair describes treating someone in a way that is reasonable or right.
He sold me his car for a fair price.
Flow. To flow is to move easily and continuously in one direction.
The water flowed over the rocks and into the lake.
Forward. If you move forward, you move in the direction in front of you.
When he saw his mother, the baby crawled forward to her.
Hill. A hill is a round area of land. It is higher than the land around it.
The sun was rising above the green hills.
Level. A level is a point on a scale that measures something.
Please check the level of the temperature.
Lone. If someone or something is lone, they are the only one of that kind.
A lone man walked along the street.
Puddle. A puddle is a pool of liquid on the ground.
When the ice melted, it formed a puddle.
Response. A response is the answer to a question.
He asked if I was sad. My response was no.
Season. A season is a time of the year. Spring, summer, fall, or winter.
Fall is a warm season, while winter is very cold.
Solution. A solution is a way to solve a problem.
There are many problems. We need solutions.
Waste. To waste means to carelessly use something all up.
Turn off the water so you don't waste it.
Weather. You use weather when you must choose between two things.
I could not decide whether to go left or right. The race for water. There was a town next to a river. The people there had a lot of water, but they wasted it. That made the sky angry. It said, "If you waste water, I will take it away from you." But the people didn't listen. When the season changed from spring to summer, the clouds disappeared. The bright sun was hot and made the river dry. There was no water available. People asked, "When will the rain fall?" The sky's response was, "You don't appreciate water. You waste it, and now I will never make rain again." A boy determined that this wasn't fair. He thought of a solution. He asked the sky to race him. He said, "If I get to the top of that hill before your rain can form puddles, you must fill our river." The sky laughed. "Little boy, I am the sky. I am above everything else. You cannot beat me." But the boy knew he would win. When the race began, the boy ran forward. The sky started raining on the hill, but puddles did not form there. When it rained on the hill, the water went down. The sky kept raining. The water flowed down into the river. When the boy reached the top of the hill, the river was full. The people began to celebrate. It was the highest level the river had ever been at before. The sky was angry. "A boy can't beat me. I won't fill your river," it said. Now the boy laughed. "It doesn't matter whether you want to fill it or not," he said. "You already did." The sky looked at the full river. "You tricked me," it said. It asked the people, "Do you appreciate water now?" "Yes," they said. "We won't waste it." That is how a lone boy saved his town and won the race for water.
Unit 18. Word list. Argue. To argue is to angrily speak to someone because you do not agree.
We argued about where to go for dinner.
Communicate. To communicate is to give information by talking, writing, etc.
I communicated with Paul about his new ideas.
Crowd. A crowd is a large group of people.
A large crowd had gathered on the street to see the accident.
Depend. To depend on someone or something is to need them.
Children depend on their parents for many things.
Dish. A dish is a plate.
She put a clean white dish on the table.
Empty. If something is empty, it does not have anything in it.
My gas tank was almost empty, so I couldn't drive my car very long.
Exact. If something is exact, it is just the right amount.
Please use the exact amount of sugar for the cake.
Fresh. If something is fresh, it is new.
I just bought these oranges. They are very fresh.
Gather. To gather is to collect several things, usually from different places.
Sam gathered some flowers for his mother.
Indicate. To indicate means to show, point, or make something clear.
He pointed to his eyes to indicate where he had hurt himself.
Item. An item is a thing that you buy or sell.
I have many items for school in my bag.
Offer. To offer is to present someone with something.
He offered me the keys to his car.
Price. The price of something is how much it costs.
What is the price of this item?
Product. A product is something that is made.
My sister has many beauty products in her room.
Property. Property is something that someone owns.
The house is now my property.
Purchase. To purchase something is to buy it.
I recently purchased a new car.
Recommend. To recommend something is to say that someone should do it.
My doctor recommended that I get some exercise.
Select. To select something is to choose it.
I hope that I selected the right answers on the test.
Tool. A tool is something that helps you do a task.
We used a tool to fix the window.
Treat. To treat is to act in a certain way toward someone.
The cats treated the mouse very nicely.
The Little Red Chicken. A little red chicken had a store in a small town. She sold many different items to people in the town. The people loved her products. One day, a cat came to her property. He saw the sign that indicated where the chicken store was located. He wanted to purchase bread, but the chicken store was almost empty. She had only a bag of wheat. "You can use the wheat to make bread," the chicken said. "No, I don't want to work," the cat said. "I just want to buy bread." The cat became angry and left the store. Later, the little red chicken saw the cat in a crowd. "I will help you make the bread," she said. But the cat treated her badly. He did not even communicate with her. He did not want to do any work, so the chicken decided to make the bread. She selected the exact amount of wheat to make fresh bread. She used a stone to pound the wheat to get it ready. Soon, her bread was ready. The cat came and saw the bread on a dish. "Give me some of your bread," he said. "No," said the little red chicken. "You did not help me make the bread, so you shall not have any to eat." The cat argued with the chicken. He tried to offer a price for it, but the little red chicken did not want to sell her bread. "Don't depend on others to do work for you," said the little red chicken. "Then how will I get bread?" the cat asked. "I recommend doing some work," said the little red chicken. "Use a tool to plant your own wheat. When it grows big, you can gather it and make your own bread. You need to learn to do work for what you want." Unit 19. Word list. Alive. If someone or something is alive, they are not dead.
My grandparents are still alive, even though they are over 90.
Bone. A bone is a hard part of the body.
I brought home a nice bone for my dog.
Bother. To bother is to make the effort to do something.
No one bothered to wash the dishes today.
Captain. A captain is the person who leads a ship or airplane.
The captain sailed his ship to Australia.
Conclusion. The conclusion of something is the final part of it.
At the conclusion of the race, the spectators cheered for the winner.
Doubt. Doubt is a feeling of not being sure.
I have doubt that the story is true.
Explore. To explore is to look for new places.
He wants to explore the world and see new things.
Foreign. If something is foreign, it is from a different country.
Mexican food is a popular foreign food.
Glad. If you are glad, you are happy.
I am glad you came to my party.
However. However means despite or not being influenced by something.
She is a great cook. However, she never had professional lessons.
Injustice. Injustice is a lack of fairness or justice.
Putting an innocent person in jail is an act of injustice.
International. If something is international, it involves more than one country.
The United Nations is a powerful international organization.
Lawyer. A lawyer works with the law and represents people in court.
The lawyer left the courthouse after the judge made her decision.
Mention. To mention something is to talk about it.
The doctors mentioned the problems that the patient was having.
Policy. A policy is a rule.
He told us that his policy was to put customers first.
Social. If something is social, it is about many people in a community.
People should come together and fix the world's social problems.
Speech. A speech is something said to a group of people.
She gave a speech to the class.
Staff. A staff is a group of people working together in a company.
My dad has a staff of 4 people to help him at the office.
Toward. If you go toward something, You go closer to it.
Santa walked toward my house with a special tree.
Wood. Wood is the thing that trees are made of.
I put the pieces of wood in a pile. Shipwrecked. Simon Yates was a lawyer. He helped many people. However, he was not a nice man. His policy was to help only rich people. He didn't bother about social injustice. He made a lot of money, but many people didn't like him. Even people on his staff didn't like him. They wanted bad things to happen to him. In fact, they were glad when he got into trouble. Simon had a very bad day. He did many things wrong and lost his job. Soon, he didn't have any money. His wife, Mrs. Yates, began to have doubts about him. Simon wanted to start a new life. He planned to leave the country. He mentioned his plan to the captain of a ship. The captain was exploring the world. The captain felt bad for Simon and said, "I will take you to foreign countries." They left the next day. Near the conclusion of their international trip, the weather turned bad. A wave pushed Simon off the boat, but he was alive. He swam toward an island. After a long time, he got there. At first, he was upset. He was lost and alone. "I'll never go home again," he thought. He had a lot of problems, but he survived. He built a house in a tree. He lived on a diet of fish. He made tools from wood and bones. He made a cup to drink rainwater. Slowly, he learned to be happy on the island. He swam every day. He had trouble sometimes, but he always found a way to fix the problem. Life was simple. He liked it. Finally, people on a ship saw Simon on the island. They wanted to take him home. But Simon was happy. He gave them a long speech about life. He said he wanted to stay. He liked his new simple life more than his old life.
Unit 20. Word list. Achieve. To achieve something is to successfully do it after trying hard.
I was happy that I could achieve my goal.
Advise. To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
My mother often advises people about their money.
Already. If something happens already, it happens before a certain time.
It is already time for the movie to start. Let's go in.
Basic. If something is basic, it is very simple or easy.
I learned some basic English skills in school today.
Bit. A bit is a small amount of something.
I ate a bit of chocolate before I went to bed.
Consider. To consider something means to think about it.
Pete didn't like his job. He considered getting a new one.
Destroy. To destroy means to damage something so badly that it cannot be used.
The glass was destroyed.
Entertain. To entertain someone is to do something that they enjoy.
The clown entertained the kids at the party.
Extra. If something is extra, it is more than what is needed.
The squirrel had extra nuts for the winter.
Goal. A goal is something you work toward.
Her goal was to become a doctor.
Lie. To lie is to say or write something untrue to deceive someone.
Whenever Pinocchio lied to his father, his nose grew.
Meat. Meat is food made of animals.
This piece of meat I'm eating tastes very good.
Opinion. An opinion is a thought about a person or a thing.
Meg told me her opinion of my story. She said it was not funny.
Real. If something is real, it actually exists.
The handbag has a stamp on it, so it's real.
Reflect. To reflect is when a surface sends back light, heat, sound, or an image.
Her face was reflected on the smooth glass.
Regard. To regard someone or something is to think of them in a certain way.
The boy regarded the girl as a good friend.
Serve. To serve someone is to give them food or drinks.
He served us our drinks quickly.
Vegetable. A vegetable is a plant used as food.
Carrots are my favorite vegetable.
War. A war is a big fight between two groups of people.
Many young men died in the war.
Worth. If something is worth an amount of money, it costs that amount.
Our house is worth a lot of money.
The 7 Cities of Gold. Many years ago, a Spanish officer named Coronado heard the story of 7 great cities. The walls of these cities are made of gold, his friends told him. The people eat meat from golden plates and dress in nice clothes, they said. They called these cities the 7 Cities of Gold. Were the cities real? Coronado never considered asking his friends. Coronado thought to himself, the things in these cities must be worth a lot of money. So he went to find the 7 Cities of Gold. He took along 300 men, many horses, and extra food. They headed west. Coronado wanted to achieve his goal very badly. Coronado and his men rode for many days. Then they saw some cities. "We found the 7 Cities of Gold!" his men yelled. But Coronado wasn't happy. He had a different opinion. "These can't be the 7 Cities of Gold," he said. "Look, they're made of dirt." Coronado was right. The cities weren't bright and golden. They were dirty and brown. The people didn't eat meat from golden plates. They ate vegetables from regular bowls. They wore the most basic clothes. Coronado regarded the cities as ugly places. What happened to the cities of gold? He thought. Did someone destroy them? Was there a war? Did someone already come and take the gold? That night, the people of the cities entertained Coronado and his men and served them food. They advised Coronado to go home. "There is no gold here," they told him. Coronado was angry. Did his friends lie to him? He left the next morning. He looked back at the cities one more time. The sun reflected light on the dirt houses. Coronado thought he saw a bit of gold. Were his friends right after all? No, he told himself. It's just the sun. Then he turned away and went home. Unit 21. Word list. Appear. To appear is to seem.
She appeared to be sad. She was crying.
Base. The base is the bottom of something.
The base of the table has 3 legs.
Brain. The brain is the organ in your head that lets you think.
You must use your brain to solve the problem.
Career. A career is a job that you do for a large part of your life.
He was in the hospitality business for most of his career.
Clerk. A clerk is a type of worker. Clerks in a store help customers.
The clerk added up her bill for the groceries.
Effort. Effort is hard work or an attempt to do something.
He always puts a lot of effort into his studies.
Enter. To enter a place is to go into it.
2 guards greeted me as I entered the front door.
Excellent. When something is excellent, it is very good.
I got an excellent score on my school test.
Hero. A hero is a brave person who does things to help others.
To children, the man in the blue and red costume was a real hero.
Hurry. To hurry is to do something quickly.
I hurried home on my bike.
Inform. To inform someone is to tell them about something.
I called and informed her about my idea.
Later. Later means after the present, expected or usual time.
She missed the train, so she'll arrive a little later than expected.
Leave. To leave means to go away from someone or something.
He packed his bag and was ready to leave for home.
Locate. To locate something is to find it.
I could not locate my keys in the house.
Nurse. A nurse is a person who helps sick people in the hospital.
A nurse helped me get better.
Operation. An operation is when a doctor replaces or removes something in the body.
The operation on my arm was a success.
Pain. Pain is the feeling that you have when you are hurt.
His head was full of pain.
Refuse. To refuse something is to say no to it.
The dog refused to play with the cat.
Though. Though is used when the second idea makes the first seem surprising.
Though he was overweight, he liked to be active.
Various. If something is various, there are many types of it.
She owned shoes of various styles. Katie. I first met 8-year-old Katie on a rainy afternoon. I was a nurse at a hospital. The clerk at the desk told me about Katie. She was there because she felt a lot of pain. The doctors located a problem at the base of her brain. I knew she was special even before she got better. I'll always remember Katie as a hero. When I entered Katie's room, she was not in her bed. She was in a chair next to Tommy, a little boy. Though Katie did not feel well, she was playing with Tommy and his toys. It took a lot of effort for her just to sit in the chair, but she played with Tommy because it made him happy. Katie was always smiling and never appeared to be in pain. She refused to just lie in bed. One day, I found her painting a picture. Later, she gave it to one of the older patients. Another day, she went outside to get flowers for another sick little girl. Katie made everyone smile. The doctors hurried to fix the problem in Katie's brain. The operation was successful. The doctors informed the hospital staff of the good news. Katie was fine. She soon felt excellent. She got better and was able to leave the hospital a month later. I have had a long career as a nurse. I have met many patients. However, I have never met another girl like Katie. Even after she got well, she still came to the hospital. She played various games with the young patients. She read many books to the older patients. Katie's kind heart helped her get better so quickly. She is a hero to me and everyone else at the hospital.
Unit 22. Word list. Actual. Actual means that something is real or true.
This is the actual sword that the king owned, not a fake one.
Amaze. To amaze someone is to surprise them very much.
The news in the paper amazed Jack.
Charge. A charge is the price to pay for something.
The charge for the shirts was $15.
Comfort. To comfort someone means to make them feel better.
I wanted to comfort my friend after I heard the bad news.
Contact. To contact someone is to speak or write to them.
I contacted Sue about my party.
Customer. A customer is a person who buys something at a store.
The customer put a few items in a bag.
Deliver. To deliver something is to take it from one place to another.
The man delivered Chinese food to my house.
Earn. To earn means to get money for the work you do.
He earns his living as a chef in a great restaurant.
Gate. A gate is a type of door. Gates are usually made of metal or wood.
We want to put up a wooden gate around our house.
Include. To include something means to have it as part of a group.
Does this meal include a soft drink?
Manage. To manage something means to control or be in charge of it.
I had to manage the meeting myself.
Mystery. A mystery is something that is difficult to understand or explain.
The path on the map was a complete mystery to me.
Occur. To occur means to happen.
When did the thunderstorm occur?
Opposite. If A is the opposite of B, A is completely different from B.
The opposite of black is white.
Plate. A plate is a flat, round thing that you put food on.
I put my plate down so I could put some food on it.
Receive. To receive something is to get it.
I received a present on my birthday.
Reward. A reward is something given in exchange for good behavior or work.
He was given a reward for his excellent performance.
Set. To set something is to put it somewhere.
Please set the dice down on the table.
Steal. To steal is to take something that is not yours.
The men tried to steal money from the bank.
Thief. A thief is someone who quietly takes things that do not belong to them.
A thief broke into our home and took my mother's jewelry.
A better reward. Jenny delivered food for a restaurant. She read the newspaper and said, "Uh-oh." There was a story about a thief. He stole food, and no one had seen him. Even the police couldn't catch him. Jenny was a little scared. She worked close to that area. The newspaper included a message from the police. If anything strange occurs, call us. If you help us to catch the thief, you'll earn a reward. Jenny talked to Jim. He managed the restaurant. "Do you know about the thief?" "Yes," he said. "But he steals more than one person can eat. And why haven't the police stopped him yet?" "It's a mystery. If you see him, contact the police. Don't run after him." Jenny drove to a customer's house. She left her car and opened the gate to the house. But then she heard a noise by her car. She yelled, "Thief!" She wasn't scared. She wanted the reward. She did the opposite of what Jim told her to do. "Hey!" she yelled. "Get back here!" She set the food on the ground and ran to her car. But the thief had already left with the food. Jenny followed a noise around the corner. She was amazed. She saw a dog and some puppies. They were eating her food. They looked thin and scared. The actual thief is just a dog. "She's feeding her puppies," she said. "That's why she steals so much food." Jenny felt bad. She tried to comfort the dogs with another plate of food. Then she took them back to the store. Everyone there took a puppy home. Jenny called the police. She told them there was no real thief. Jenny didn't do it to receive the reward anymore. She said, "It was just a dog. But there's no charge for catching this thief," she said. "My new dog is a better reward." Unit 23. Word list. Advance. To advance is to go forward.
He advanced up the ladder slowly.
Athlete. An athlete is a person who plays sports.
Some athletes can play many sports very well.
Average. If something is average, it is at a normal level.
I'm not rich or poor. I'm average.
Behavior. Your behavior is the way you act.
Their behavior was good this semester. They didn't cause trouble.
Behind. Behind means to be at the back of something.
The little girl was hiding behind a tree.
Course. A course is a class in school.
I took a PE course in school this year.
Lower. To lower something is to make it go down.
The chart shows how his production has lowered over the year.
Match. To match is to be the same or similar.
The two shoes matched. They looked the same.
Member. A member is a person who is part of a group.
Julie is the newest member of our team.
Mental. If something is mental, it has to do with your mind.
I made a mental picture of the room.
Passenger. A passenger is a person who rides in a car, train, or airplane.
One passenger was standing in the subway train.
Personality. Your personality is what you are like and how you behave.
John has a bad personality.
Poem. A poem is a short kind of writing.
William Shakespeare wrote many poems.
Pole. A pole is a long, thin stick made of wood or metal that supports things.
The flag was hanging from the flagpole.
Remove. To remove something is to take it away.
I removed the nail from the board.
Safety. Safety means to be the condition of being safe and free from danger.
For his own safety, he was placed in a car seat.
Shoot. To shoot is to fire something like a bullet at someone or something.
The hunter raised his gun to shoot at the target.
Sound. To sound means to make a noise.
The alarm clock sounded and woke us all up.
Swim. To swim is to move through water.
I love to swim in the ocean.
Web. A web is a home made by a spider.
Mom cleaned the spider webs out of the garage. The camp. Stacy wanted to stay at a nice hotel for vacation, but her parents sent her to a terrible camp instead. For breakfast, Stacy liked fresh juice and chocolate milk, but she got water at the camp. In the afternoon, she wanted to write poems, but she had to swim. The camp was near an airport with loud planes. Spiderwebs hung over her bed. To her, the kids' average behavior was very bad. No girl matched her personality. She hated it. One day, they had a class. Mental exercise sounded good to Stacy, but it was a course on water safety. They learned how to be safe passengers on a boat. Stacy didn't ever plan to go on a boat. The next day, they played a game. There were a red team and a blue team. Stacy was on the blue team. Each team had to try to remove the other team's flag from a pole. They also had to use water guns. I'm not much of an athlete, she said, but she still had to play. Stacy took a water gun and looked for somewhere to hide. A boy said, "Stacy, you advance to the middle. I will go right. Those two will go left." Stacy still didn't want to play. she walked into the forest and saw a red team player coming. Stacy hid behind a tree and then jumped out and shot the other player. This is fun, Stacy thought. Several minutes after advancing further, Stacy saw the red flag. A red team member was watching over it. She shot him with her water gun. Then she lowered the flag and ran back to her team. "I got it," she yelled. The blue team won. Stacy was the hero. For the rest of the week, Stacy had fun. She even made new friends.
Unit 24. Word list. Block. A block is a solid piece of wood, stone, or ice.
I saw a block of ice on the floor.
Cheer. To cheer is to give a loud shout of approval or encouragement.
The crowd all cheered when the home team won.
Complex. If something is complex, it has many small parts. It is hard to understand.
A jigsaw puzzle can be complex because it has so many pieces.
Critic. A critic is someone who gives their opinions about movies, books, plays, etc.
The wine critic tasted the wine so he could give his opinion.
Event. An event is something that happens, especially something important.
Finishing high school was a major event in his life.
Exercise. To exercise is to run or play sports so that you can be healthy.
You should exercise every day.
Fit. If something fits, it is small enough or the right size to go there.
The colorful eggs fit into the box.
Friendship. Friendship is the relationship between people who are friends.
Michael and Lisa have a very strong friendship with each other.
Guide. A guide is someone who shows you where to go.
We followed a guide at the park.
Lack. If there is a lack of something, there is not enough of it.
His only problem is a lack of money.
Passage. A passage is a long area with walls that goes from one place to another.
The long passage led us to the other side of the field.
Perform. To perform is to do something in front of people who watch.
He will perform a song for the class.
Pressure. Pressure is what you apply to make someone do something.
They put pressure on him to change his mind.
Probable. If something is probable, it is likely to happen.
It is probable that you will get a good grade if you study for the test.
Public. If something is public, it is meant for everyone to use.
I went to the public park to play with my friends.
Strike. To strike someone or something is to hit them.
She struck the other girl in the face.
Support. To support something is to like it and help it be successful.
Everyone at work supports the new plan.
Task. A task is work that someone has to do.
Who has the task of building the brick wall?
Term. A term is a word for something.
I often use the term oops when I make a mistake.
Unite. To unite is to get together to do something.
If we unite, we can finish our project faster.
A strong friendship. Tim was the strongest man in the town. When he played sports, he always won. He performed and exercised in the public park. He did this to show everyone how strong he was. Most people liked him, but one man didn't. His name was Jack. Jack hated Tim. Jack was a movie critic and the smartest man in town. He could solve complex math problems, but no one cared. Jack wanted to be famous like Tim. One day, there was an unusual event. A big storm came suddenly. Snow covered the town. No one could get out. They needed food. The people said, "This is a task for a strong man." Tim was under pressure to save them. But Jack wanted to be the hero. So they both went. Tim said, "You can't help because of your lack of strength." But Jack found some small passages under the snow. One of them led toward another town. That town had food. Because Tim was so big and strong, he almost couldn't fit inside. They walked until there was a block of ice in their way. Jack said, "We can't get past it. But if you strike it, it might break." Tim knew that was probable. He broke it. When there were more ice blocks, Tim broke them. That made him tired. He couldn't walk anymore. Jack said, "Let's unite and support each other. I'll get the food alone. You rest here." Jack came back with food. Tim couldn't remember which passage led home. He needed Jack to be his guide. The men became friends by working together. In town, people saw Jack with the food and cheered. They called Jack a hero. But Jack didn't care. He was thinking of something else. He said to Tim, "I thought I was smart, but I learned a new term today. Friendship." Unit 25. Word list. Associate. To associate means to connect something with a person or thing.
Most people associate birthday parties with having fun.
Environment. The environment is the place where people work or live.
Keeping our environment clean is important to our health.
Factory. A factory is a building where things are made or put together.
We have only one factory in our town.
Feature. A feature is an important part of something.
The cell phone has many features.
Instance. An instance is an example of something.
I have never experienced an instance of hate. Have you?
Involve. To involve means to be actively taking part in something.
The whole family was involved in playing the game.
Medicine. Medicine is something you take to feel better or treat an illness.
The doctor gave me medicine for my cold.
Mix. A mix is different things put together.
The green mix we made in science class spilled onto the table.
Organize. To organize is to plan or get ready for an event.
Make a list to help you organize the things you need.
Period. A period is an amount of time when something happens.
In one period in Europe, there were many nights.
Populate. If people populate an area, they live there.
Billions of people populate the earth.
Produce. To produce something is to make or grow it.
This tree produces apples every year.
Range. A range is a number or a set of similar things.
I saw a range of cars to choose from.
Recognize. To recognize something is to know it because you have seen it before.
I recognized an old friend from many years ago.
Regular. If something is regular, it happens often and in equal amounts of time.
Our regular lunchtime is around noon.
Sign. A sign is a notice giving information, directions, a warning, etc.
The sign indicated that today would be a bad day.
Tip. A tip is a pointed end of something.
The tip of his pen was very sharp.
Tradition. A tradition is something people have been doing for a long time.
Marriage is a tradition all over the world.
Trash. Trash is waste material or unwanted or worthless things.
Please take out the trash. It smells bad.
Wide. If something is wide, it is large from side to side.
The door was as wide as my arms. Joe's pond. Joe made the world a better place. He got the idea to do that at school. He watched a video there. It was about a factory. This factory produced a lot of trash and put it in a river. The trash and water were a bad mix. People populated the area by the river and drank its water. This made them sick. Many of them needed medicine and made regular visits to doctors. But the video wasn't all bad news. It showed ways to pick up trash and why it's important to do this. It said people can make a difference to their environment. The video's important features made Joe associate trash with hurting people. One day, Joe walked through a park. He recognized some of the problems from the video. One instance of these problems was the trash in the pond. It was full of plastic cups. There was too much trash. Joe didn't want it to hurt anyone. He told his grandfather about the park. His grandfather said, "You know, it's a tradition in our family to help people. That's why we give food to poor people. Maybe you can help people by cleaning the park." Cleaning the park would involve hard work. Joe decided to organize a group to help him. He chose a wide area of the park. It had the most trash. He asked his family and friends to come. On Saturday, he gave everyone a sharp stick. They wondered why. He said, "You use the stick's tip to pick up trash. This makes it easier." They worked for 6 weeks. Different people helped each time, but Joe was always there. In that period of time, Joe saw a range of results. There was no trash in the water. People could swim in it. Joe knew that was a good sign. He was happy because he helped his environment.
Unit 26. Word list. Advice. Advice is an opinion about what to do.
I don't know how to study for my exams. Can you give me some advice?
Along. Along means to move from one part of a road, river, etc. to another.
Walk along this tunnel for 10 minutes and you'll see a door on the left.
Attention. Attention is the notice, thought, or consideration of someone.
His work got the attention of 2 of his coworkers.
Attract. To attract means to make a person or thing come closer or be interested.
The magnet attracted the metal.
Climb. To climb means to use your hands and feet to go up on something.
The girls climbed to the top of the mountain.
Drop. To drop is to fall or allow something to fall.
A small amount of water dropped from the bottle.
Final. If something is final, it is the last part.
In the final part of the film, the man and the woman got married.
Further. Further is used to say something is from a distance or time.
The escalator is further along than I thought.
Imply. To imply something is to suggest it without saying it.
The man implied that he wanted the job, but he didn't say so.
Maintain. To maintain means to make something stay the same.
The balls maintain constant movement.
Neither. You use neither to connect 2 negative statements.
Neither the pass on the left nor the pass on the right will lead us home.
Otherwise. Otherwise means different or in another way.
It's good to stay active, otherwise you'll gain weight.
Physical. If something is physical, it is related to your body and not your mind.
Biking is good for your physical health.
Prove. To prove something is to show that it is true.
My teacher proved the answer on the board.
React. To react is to act in a certain way because of something that happened.
James reacted badly to the news.
Ride. To ride something is to travel on it. You can ride an animal, a bike, etc.
I will ride a roller coaster for the first time today.
Situated. If something is situated somewhere, it is in that place.
The whiteboard is situated between the two men.
Society. Society is people and the way that they live.
Society expects people to be good and honest.
Standard. A standard is what people consider normal or good.
This older model TV is below our store's standards.
Suggest. To suggest something means to give an idea or plan about it.
He suggested that we go to see his boss.
Archie and his donkey. Old Archie needed some money. He decided to sell his donkey. So he and his son Tom went to town. It was situated many miles away. Soon they met a woman. "Where are you going?" she asked. "To town," said Archie. "Any smart person would ride the donkey," she said. "What are you implying?" Archie asked. "I'm very smart." Archie wanted to look smart. So he climbed onto the donkey. Then they continued in the direction of the town. Further along the road, they met a farmer. "Hello," said Archie. "We want to sell this donkey. Do you want to buy it?" "I don't need a donkey," said the farmer. "But if you want my advice, don't ride it. The donkey needs to be in good physical condition." "Good idea," said Archie. "Tom, I want you to ride it. You're lighter." "Neither you nor your son should ride it. It looks very tired. You should carry the donkey," suggested the farmer. "You're right," said Archie. "Come on, Tom. We'll carry it for the final few miles." The donkey was very heavy, and they couldn't maintain a good speed. They didn't arrive until late in the evening. At last, they walked into the town. But there they attracted the attention of some teenage boys. They laughed at Tom and Archie. They started to throw stones at them. The donkey reacted by kicking. Tom and Archie dropped the donkey. It fell on the ground and they ran away. Archie lost his donkey. He went home with no money. What does this story teach us? We cannot please everyone in our society. Don't take everyone's advice, but set your own standards. Prove to everyone that you can make decisions by yourself. Otherwise, you may end up with nothing at all. Unit 27. Word list. Actually. Actually means in fact or really.
My dad looks a little mean, but actually, he's very kind.
Bite. Bite is the act of using your teeth to cut and tear into something.
The boy took a big bite out of his hamburger.
Coast. The coast is the land by an ocean.
I stayed on the southern coast of Australia.
Deal. A deal is an agreement that you have with another person.
I made a deal with the other company to give us some money.
Desert. The desert is an area of land without many plants or water.
Not many plants grow in the desert.
Earthquake. An earthquake is a shaking movement of the ground.
The building shook during the earthquake.
Effective. If something is effective, it works well.
Swimming is an effective way to stay healthy.
Examine. To examine something is to look at it carefully.
The doctor examined my eyes today.
False. If something is false, it is not correct.
If you think the answer is false, press the red button.
Gift. A gift is something you give someone.
Dave received many gifts for Christmas.
Hunger. Hunger is the feeling that you get when you need to eat.
After playing all day long, he was filled with hunger.
Imagine. To imagine something is to think of it in your mind.
Sally imagined herself winning lots of money.
Journey. A journey is a long trip.
I went on a journey across the country with my parents.
Puzzle. A puzzle is something that is hard to understand.
The question was a puzzle to him.
Quite. Quite is used to say that something is complete or very much.
I think typing on a keyboard is quite easy.
Rather. Rather is used when you want to do one thing but not the other.
I would rather have the red one than the blue one.
Specific. If something is specific, it is precise or exact.
Please choose a specific place on the map.
Tour. A tour is a short trip in which you see many sights.
I took a tour of Asia and Europe.
Trip. A trip is a journey to a certain place.
Ken took a trip to the city yesterday.
Value. If something has value, it is worth a lot of money.
Matthew found a treasure of very high value. The Spider and the Bird. There was once a very big spider. If a bug got into his web, he would examine it. However, he didn't eat the bug right away. He asked the bug a question first. It was always quite a difficult puzzle. If the bug's answer was correct, he let it go. If not, he ate it. One day, a small bird on a journey flew into the spider's web. The spider couldn't imagine eating a bird. It was so big. But his hunger was too great. He said to the bird, "If you cannot give me a specific answer, I will eat you." The bird laughed. "I could eat you." But the bird was actually scared. She had used all her energy trying to get out of the web. And a spider's bite can be very effective in killing animals. "Please don't eat me," the bird said. "I would rather make a deal with you." "Okay," the spider said. "If your answer is right, I will let you go. If not, you must give me a gift. It must be something of great value." The bird said, "You can pick anything you want to eat. I will find it for you." The spider agreed. "Where can you take a trip to the coast, the desert, and the mountains at the same time?" the spider asked. The bird asked, "Does this place have earthquakes?" But the spider did not say anything. "I can see those places when I fly. Is the sky the right answer?" "False," said the spider. "The answer is Hawaii. Now you must find some bugs for me." The spider climbed on the bird's back. They flew and ate bugs together. They took a tour of the forest. Then the bird took the spider home. From that day on, they were friends, and they never tried to eat each other again.
Unit 28. Word list. Band. A band is a group of people who play music.
My brother is in a rock band.
Barely. Barely means by the smallest amount, almost not.
I barely had enough money to pay for my bus ticket.
Boring. If something is boring, it is not fun.
I think the internet is boring.
Cancel. To cancel means to decide that an event or a request will not happen.
She canceled the rest of her plans because of the rain.
Driveway. A driveway is a short private road that leads to a person's home.
The long driveway led us to their new house.
Garbage. Garbage is waste material like unwanted or spoiled food, bottles, paper, etc.
The boy cleaned up the garbage around his house.
Instrument. An instrument is something designed to do a certain task, like music.
My favorite musical instrument is the piano.
List. A list is a record of information printed with an item on each line.
My mom makes a list of groceries to buy.
Magic. Magic is the power to do impossible things.
The magician used magic to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Message. A message is a set of words that you send to someone.
I left a message for you in the envelope.
Notice. To notice something is to see it for the first time.
Did you notice the view?
Own. To own something means to have it. That thing belongs to you.
My grandfather owns that house.
Predict. To predict something is to say that it will happen.
She predicted that I would get married next year.
Professor. A professor is a person who teaches in college.
Mike's science professor knows a lot about physics.
Rush. To rush is to go somewhere or do something very quickly.
Nancy rushed to finish her homework.
Schedule. A schedule is a plan that tells you when to do things.
What is your class schedule for today?
Share. To share something is to give some of it to another person.
Jimmy shared his apple with me.
Stage. A stage is a place where actors or musicians act or sing.
A large screen was on the stage.
Storm. A storm is very bad weather. There is a lot of rain or snow.
Did that storm wake you up last night?
Within. You use within to say that something is inside another thing.
Within the box, there was a pizza.
The party. Cody's family moved to a new house. His dad got a new job as a professor. Cody liked his new town, but he missed his grandparents. For his birthday, Cody wanted to have a party. His dad said, "Yes, we could even have a band play." On the day of the party, Cody woke up and rushed to get ready. He started to check his list of things to do. He was so excited. But then he noticed something terrible. There was snow on the ground, and lots of it. "Dad," he yelled, "how can the band play their instruments outside?" Dad said, "We'll move the stage inside." It barely fit within the garage because there were some boxes and garbage there. But when they finished, they got a call from the band. They did not want to come in the snowstorm. Dad said, "Let's get someone to perform magic." But no one would come because of the snow. Finally, Dad said, "Cody, there's too much snow. We need to cancel the party." "Yes, sir," Cody said sadly. "It's going to be a boring birthday," he predicted. Cody wanted to share his birthday with someone. He wanted to be at his old home. He wanted to see his grandparents. But then something got his attention. He noticed a car in the driveway. His grandparents owned a car like that. Cody was right. His grandparents came for his birthday. "Happy birthday, Cody! We're sorry we are late, but there was so much snow. It made us go off schedule. We tried to leave a message to tell you." Cody told them what happened. "I'm sorry," said Grandpa. "I was sad," Cody said. "But I'm not anymore. I'm so happy to see you." Dad brought out Cody's birthday treat. It was his favorite type, a sundae with whipped cream on top. Then Cody told his grandparents about the new town. It was his best birthday ever. Unit 29. Word list. Advertise. To advertise is to tell people about something on TV, radio, etc.
They used a rabbit to help them advertise their product.
Assign. To assign something to someone is to tell them to do it.
I assigned the worker an important task.
Audience. An audience is a group of people who watch something together.
There was a large audience at the game.
Breakfast. Breakfast is the first meal of the day.
I eat breakfast at 8 every morning.
Competition. A competition is a contest to see who is the best at something.
He won the running competition over the weekend.
Cool. If the weather is cool, it is a little bit cold.
The weather is cool in the fall.
Gain. If you gain something, you get more of it.
I gained some weight over the summer.
Importance. Importance means the quality or condition of being needed or valued.
VIPs are people of great importance.
Knowledge. Knowledge is information that you have about something.
A music teacher should have good knowledge of music.
Major. If something is major, it is big or important.
I have a major problem. My boss wants me to redo my project.
Mean. Mean describes someone who is unkind or cruel.
My coworker is a very mean person. He gets angry very quickly.
Prefer. If you prefer something, you want it more than something else.
I prefer to take the path that will lead me to a bright future.
President. A president is the leader of a country.
The president of our country made an important announcement.
Progress. Progress is the act of getting closer to doing or finishing something.
Our company made financial progress this year.
Respect. Respect is a good opinion of someone because they are good.
I have great respect for firemen.
Rich. If you are rich, you have a lot of money.
He's rich. He can buy anything he wants.
Skill. A skill is the knowledge and ability that allows you to do something well.
A snowboarder must have the right skills to do well.
Somehow. Somehow means in a way or by some means which is not known.
He somehow had to find a way to reach the life preserver.
Strength. Strength is the physical power that you have.
Exercising will increase your strength and give you more power.
Vote. To vote is to officially choose between two or more things.
I voted for Billy to be our class president. How the world got light. The president of Darkland was a pig, a very bad pig. He was a pig of major importance. He was rich and he had a lot of strength. But he was mean to all the animals in Darkland. He kept all of the world's light in a bag. He preferred to keep the world cool and dark. He wanted to stop the progress of the city. The animals couldn't work in the dark. He didn't have any respect for them. Light is too good for them, he said. Only I should have light. But the animals needed light, so they decided to hold a competition. They wanted to find the smartest animal in Darkland. That animal had to steal light from the president. They advertised the competition everywhere. All the animals came. The animals all showed off their skills. The audience watched and then voted for the animal with the most knowledge. The winner was a tall bird named Raven. They assigned him the job of getting light. The next morning, Raven ate breakfast and then left his home. "How will I gain light from the president?" thought Raven. He needed to trick the president somehow. Then Raven had an idea. Raven could make his voice sound like anything. Raven walked up to the president's door. He made the sound of a crying baby. He cried very loudly. Soon the president opened the door. "Be quiet," the president yelled. Right then, Raven quickly made his move. He flew by the pig and found the soft bag. He took it outside. The sun was inside the bag. Raven flew high and put the sun in the sky. The president was very mad. Raven tricked him. But the other animals were very happy. At last they had light, all because of Raven's smart thinking.
Unit 30. Word list. Above. If something is above, it is at a higher level than something else.
He straightened the sign that was above the crowd.
Ahead. If something is ahead of something else, it is in front of it.
The blue car drove on ahead of us.
Amount. An amount is how much there is of something.
Can I use my card to pay for the entire amount?
Belief. A belief is a strong feeling that something is correct or true.
A preacher or priest should have a strong belief in God.
Center. The center of something is the middle of it.
The center of a dartboard is the most important spot.
Common. If something is common, it happens often or there is much of it.
It is common for snow to fall in the winter.
Cost. To cost is to require expenditure or payment.
These designer shoes cost more than the regular ones.
Demonstrate. To demonstrate something is to show how it is done.
She demonstrated her plan to her coworkers.
Different. Different describes someone or something that is not the same as others.
Each of my sisters has a different hairstyle from one another.
Evidence. Evidence is a fact or thing that you use to prove something.
He used the pictures as evidence that UFOs are real.
Honesty. Honesty means the quality of being truthful or honest.
A courtroom should be a place of honesty.
Idiom. An idiom is a phrase with a meaning different from its words.
The idiom, "when pigs fly," means that something will never happen.
Independent. If something is independent, it is not controlled by something else.
She chose to live an independent life in the country.
Inside. Inside means the inner part, space, or side of something.
The inside of the box was empty.
Master. A master is a person who is very good at something.
My brother is a master of Taekwondo.
Memory. A memory is something you remember.
The memory of my first time in the city will always be the best.
Proper. If something is proper, it is right.
It is not proper to throw your garbage on the road.
Scan. To scan something is to look at it very carefully.
You must scan each person closely.
Section. A section is a part of something larger.
The green section of the graph is the most important part.
Surface. The surface of something is the top part or outside of it.
The surface of the moon is very rough.
Cats and secrets. In English, there is a common idiom, let the cat out of the bag. It means to tell a secret. But where did this idiom start? It came from a section of England. Long ago, people there went from town to sell things like vegetables, clothes, and pigs. They had strong beliefs about honesty. They didn't like lying. One day, a man went to the section center to sell things. "I have a baby pig for sale. It won't cost much," he said. He held the animal above his head. His style was different from honest people's style. He was a master of tricking people and lying. A woman named Beth scanned his pig. He offered her the pig for 1 gold coin. That was a very small amount. Beth gave him the coin. He put it in his pocket. He walked ahead of Beth to get the pig. He gave her a closed bag and said, "Here's your pig." He then left very quickly. Beth looked at the bag's surface. It was moving. She opened it to let the pig out. A cat was inside. "He tricked me. That isn't proper," she said. Later, the man returned to trick more people. Beth saw him, and the memory of the cat came back. She told her friends. They stopped him. But no one knew what to do next. Someone said, "We need an independent and fair person to decide that." They went to the judge. Beth told him about the cat in the bag. The judge asked, "Is there evidence? Can you demonstrate how he did it?" "Look in his bag," said Beth. She opened it and let a cat out of the bag. They learned the man's secret, and he went to jail. That's how the idiom, "let the cat out of the bag," came to mean to tell a secret.